Hello, my name is Valerie Gass. Welcome to this video presenting the use of the Program Manager Level 1. We arrive on this page. So what do we have on this page? Here on the left side you have the programs. So the SR programs, the ER programs, and we will see that if you customize your programs using new settings on the pre-session, you will have programs that will appear in the customized programs. If you haven't customized a program, you have no programs in this area. In the middle, we have the possibility to create a client. So to do that, we're going to use here the icon with the green cross. So we select the icon, and this page opens. So here we're gonna put the name of our client. First name, let's say John. Okay, the ID of the program, since we are creating a client, it's his first program, so the ID is number 1. And then you can put the date. You can put the date in function of when you saw the client for the first time, in function when he's going to start his program, for example, let's say today, so we're on Monday 4th of February. And then we have to select the program, and you have two possibilities. You can select in the SR branch or in the ER branch, in function of the profile of your client and the profiles of the programs you want to work with. Remember, if you select the SR branch, you have to start with the SR0, and if you use the ER, the first program is the ER0 program. So let's say we're going to start with the SR. So we select SR0, and then we do OK. So we click on OK, and your client that you have created is going to appear in this area. So here we have our client, here is John, and the program we have given him. So here, as you create clients, you're going to have different clients, the names of your clients that appear with the different programs they work with, they have been working with. So let's go back to our client. So once we have created a client, we can put it on the TalksUp device. So you see, for the moment I'm at level 1 access here down on, but your device is not connected. So I'm gonna connect the TalksUp. So that's what I'm doing right now. So now it's connected. Takes a few seconds so it can appear on the computer. So I just connected the cable to the TalksUp. It's turning on, and we will see that now I have the serial number of my TalksUp, and as I can see, there's no program at all on my TalksUp. If I want to transfer a program on the TalksUp, first I have to select the play mode, the session time, the headset type, and the time count. Because if you transfer the program and then you select this, it's too late. It won't change the program that's already on the TalksUp. So on the play mode, we have 3 possibilities. The forward mode. The forward mode is generally the mode we use when we give it at home. In this mode, the client has to start on day 1, track 1. He cannot start on day 2, track 2. He has to do the program in order. So that's why we use it when we give it home. So like that, we have no surprise. We know the client is going to do his program correctly in the good order. Then we have the replay mode, which is the same than the forward, except when you finish the first day, you can start again the first day, which is not the case in the forward mode. The forward mode, when you finish day 1, there's no possibility to start again. Or when you finish a track, you cannot do it again. In the replay mode, if you do day 1, you can start day 1 again. For example, if you have 2 children of the same family who are doing the same program, the first child does his program, and then the other child can start the program if you have it set on replay mode. And then you have the random mode, where there you can choose any day, any track on the program. So that's the mode that we generally use when we work ourselves with the TalksUp in our centers. We know where our client is, which day he's on, and we can decide to put the program by ourselves. So there's no need to be careful, because normally we know which day our client is and how to handle it. Then the time count. The time count has no incidence on the program itself. It's just the way the time is going to appear on the TalksUp. If you select session, and for example, if we had selected 20 minutes for each track, the time is going to go down from 1 hour 20 until 0. If we select track, the time count will go down for each track. So it will start on 20 minutes on track 1, then arrive to 0, go to track 2, start on 20 minutes, and so on. So this is just to see the time count on the TalksUp, no incidence on the program. On the other hand, we have the session time, and this has an incidence on the program, because this sets the length of the tracks you're going to be using on the program. So you can choose any program. If you put 10 minutes, each day the person will do a program of 40 minutes. If you select 15 minutes, the person will do 1 hour per day, and 20 minutes, 1 hour and 20 per day. So you select the session time in function the age of the client, of his problematics, his capacity to handle more or less time of listening. So that's something that you have to really be careful to select it before you transfer the program. And then you have the headset type. If you're going to work with wired headphones or wireless, for example with the Bluetooth TalksUp, we need to put it on wireless. So these parameters have to be selected before you transfer the program on the TalksUp. So let's say that we have selected these parameters, and now we can transfer the program of our client on the TalksUp. For that, I have two possibilities. I click on the program and I click on an empty space here, and I use the green arrow to transfer the program. So that's the first possibility. So we see that the program appears here under device, so we know that the program is on our device. If you look at your device and go into program, you will see that the program is on the device. The other way to transfer it is to click and slide it into an empty space, and like that it also appears on the device. So you have two possibilities to transfer information. If you want to erase a program, it's very easy. You select it and you click on the trash can here, and you erase the program. If you want to select many programs, you use the Shift key on your computer, and like that you can select many programs and put them all in the trash. Remember that when you give the program home, we only give generally one program, so that the person doesn't change programs or decide to try the other programs and so on. Let's say that this client has finished his first intensive and he's coming back for his second intensive, so I'm gonna have to give him a new program. So let's say I want to work with the SR2 program. So same manner, I can click and slide the new page open. So here I can put the name of my client, I can rename the program, it's as you wish. You have the ID of the program that appear number 2, it's his second program, and here we can put the date, I don't know, let's say 1 month passed, and he's gonna start at the end of March. So I go OK. So the new program will appear in this area. If I decide finally that this is not the program I want to use, I just select it and put it into the trash can, and I will select SR1, transfer it, OK, change the date. So the date is your own decision if which dates as you want to use the calendar in function of your administration of how you want to handle things. Okay, so we have the program that appears in this area. Here we have, when we click on a program, you have the first day of the program that appears on the top here. And if you open the program using the little cross here, you have all the days of the program that appears. And for example, if I click on day 2, it shows me day 2 of the program. So I can visualize in this area my program and look at the composition of the program. So I close the program. What you can also do to visualize a program is select it and click on Export Excel. So it takes a little bit of time, a few seconds. You also need to have an Excel software which is up to date and usable. If not, it's not gonna work. So you will see that it will open just right now. So here we have the possibility to visualize and print the program. So you can print all your programs as you go on with your client. If you customize programs, you can print them and so on. So what do we have here? So we have the day, number of tracks. Here the duration is 20 minutes. All the durations on the programs, when you print them from the SR or ER programs, will be on 20 minutes. If you select a new time, it will change if you change on the program manager. So here we have the music, so MU, Gregorian, the valses over here, and so on. Here we have the balance, which is at 10, since we're going to work with the same intensity on both ears. The intensity is the same always in level 1. We don't work on laterality. Then we have here the presets of the channels. When it says pedagogic and there's a little star, as you can see here, it means that it's not the pedagogical channels, but it's softer channels. Here, the only one which has the pedagogical channels is the Gregorian. The other one has specific settings of the channels, and that's why they have little stars. When there's no stars, it means that it's the pedagogical setting. Microphone, we don't use microphone in level 1, so it will always appear none. Then you have the settings of delay and precision, 10, 100. And then you have the settings of the filters, so bandpass, 500, 4000. The attenuation is 6 decibels for 500 and 24 for 4000. So on the high pass at 500 it's 6 decibels, on the low pass at 4000 is 24. Another bandpass, 500, 6000, the same attenuation, 6 and 24. So the first number always goes with the first frequency, and the second number always goes with the second frequency. So when we have a bandpass, remember there's always a high pass and a low pass filter. Another bandpass, a wider one, from 500 to 8000, and here when there's only one number means that the attenuation is the same for the high and the low pass filters. And on the Gregorian we have a high pass filter at 1000 with an attenuation of 24 decibels. So this is very interesting because I recommend you to look at your program so you can understand how they are built with the different filters that I used and realize the programming and how you are using the different filters. Then we have the ratio between air and bone conduction. So the number corresponds to the intensity of the air conduction, which is 75%, and the bone conduction is at 100%. So more bone conduction, a little bit less air conduction. So it's important, always more bone than air conduction. That's why on the bone setting we have no possibility to change it, because there's already a difference between the air and the bone setting. And then you have the settings of the channels. Here This is interesting also, playtime and restart. When you use the forward mode to read the program, when the client brings the TalksUp back from home, you can plug it into the computer, turn on the program manager, and transfer into Export Excel the program of your client. And here it will appear the listening he did every day for each track. So normally it should be 20 minutes, since we have a program who's set on 20 minutes, so we should have 20 minutes of listening every day. If you have tracks with less than 20 minutes, it means that they didn't do the whole listening. And the restart, if you have little stars that appear in this area, little stars like this one, means that the person has stopped the program while they were reading a track. Remember that in the forward mode, if you stop 3 times the TalksUp, you will be unable to start again on the track. Okay, you cannot stop and start again, stop and start again. After 3 times, the TalksUp says that the session is done and you have to go to the next track. So the little stars indicates the fact that they have stopped the TalksUp. So that's important when we give it home, to also explain to the clients to be careful with the stop function. If they want to make a little break, they have to use the pause function and not the stop. Remember also that when you press stop, the track, you cannot go back to where you were. You have to start the track again. There's no possibility to go back where the client has stopped. So that's why you have to really explain the stop and the pause function, even if it seems very easy, but to be clear that if they press 3 times on stop, the session will be done. So this Excel file, then you can save it on your computer in the file of your client, so like that you know exactly the program he has done, and you can also print it and give it to your client so he can follow his program. That's possibility, you do as you wish. So this one I'm not gonna save it. So you can do that for all your programs. You can take any program and put it on Export Excel on this area, the same, or in this area, the same. You can transfer any program in the 3 zones to the Export Excel file and it will appear in an Excel file. Okay, I think we have seen quite well what's on this page. We will go on to the device page. So on device, here we have the serial number of our TalksUp. If you have many TalksUp, they will appear here. Every time you connect it, then they will appear. You can also erase them. If you have many, you can erase the TalksUp. Every time you will connect it, it will reappear in this area, so there's no problem if you erase them. So the serial number of the TalksUp, the license key of your TalksUp, the firmware, the license, when does the license expire, the level of access you have, and the owner of the TalksUp. So you have all the information you need on your TalksUp, and this key that you will use when you have to renew your license. For that you have to send TDSA will send you a mail to advise you to pay your license, and then once it's paid, they'll send you the new license key that you have to set using the key that is here. All this is explained when you receive the license key. Let's go to program configuration now. So when we arrive in this page, we have the possibility, as you know in level 1, to customize the ER program with new settings of precession. We have 3 possibilities of settings for the precession: 100, 80, and 60. Remember that you can accelerate the rate of the work on the muscles of the ear by lowering the precession. So for that, we can only do that on the ER programs. If I try to change, for example, copy SR program, it's not allowed. So we will do it on the ER program. So let's say we're gonna work with ER4. I'm gonna copy the program. Here I can put the name of my client as you wish. I'm gonna put that we're gonna put precession at 80 and OK. So it will appear in the custom programs. Voila, here's the program ER480. So for that, I'm gonna go into configure. If you have a full HD screen, you can use this one. I don't, so I use the one next to it. Press on configure and I arrive on this page where I'm gonna be able to customize my program. So on the top here, you have the different days. So if you click on them, you go to the different days. I go back. You can also use the lower arrows that are here to change and go to the next days. So how do we customize the program? We have, in general, the first day the person is coming back after a month break, so we leave it on 100. We can start to customize here, for example. So you click on precession, 80, 80. Okay, so for example, I can do 80, 100, 80, 100. If you click on column here, columns autocopy, if you select the first setting of precession and you put it on 80, all the following ones, the 4 tracks, will change to 80. So you have the possibility to work completely all the tracks on 80, or you can have 3 tracks on 80, 1 on 100, as you wish, in function of the exercise you want to do on the muscle of the middle ear. Remember, precession is air conduction, so we are acting on the information that's going in and working on the muscles of the middle ear. Remember that there's a protocol to change the precession. The first intensive is always on 100, so the ER0 program is always on 100. You can start changing precession starting on the second program, and this will be only precession 100 or 80. So there's a lot of variability. You can have, like I was saying, 3 on 80, 1 on 100, 2 on 80, 2 on 100, as you wish to do the exercise, or you can have the 4 tracks on 80. Once the person has done her second program, they can do a third program where we can use the precession on 60. Okay, so same principle. On a third program you can change on 60, but you can also have all the tracks on 60, or you can also have one on 100 and one on 80. So plenty of possibilities. So you see 60, 100, 60, 80 possibilities to play with the precession in function of the protocol you want to work with and the profile of your client, his capacity to work with faster speeds of gating. Remember that between 100 and 60 there's 1 second difference, which is huge. So it means that the work will be much more intensive when we work with a precession on 60, which is something that it can be very interesting in function of the profile of our client. If you don't want to change all the tracks, you don't click on columns autocopy and you can change each track individually. Column autocopy helps you when you want to put all the tracks at the same precession, with the same precession. So that's it for the change of the precession on the program configuration. Once you finish all the days, don't forget to do all the days, you exit program configuration, and if we go into custom programs, you will see that we have here the program that we have customized. If I put it on export Excel, we will see the changes that we have made on our program, and we can also print the file if we want to keep it on our computer in our client's file. So I'm waiting for it to happen. It's always a little slow, but here it is. So you see here on the precession column 80, 100, 80, 100, 80, 80. So all the changes will appear on your Excel file. So this is very important. Okay, we're gonna go back to program configuration because you can export or import programs. This is useful. For example, you are traveling and you have a client who comes at your center and he wants to start his program. So you can do your program, use the export program. So you select the program you have prepared for your client, you export the program. So we're gonna put it on my desktop like this. We put here, we have the name of the program, we save it. Okay, it asks me which level, so here we are in level 1. Okay, and now if I go on my desktop, I see somewhere my program, which is here. So you see, here's the program of my client. Now I can just put it in a mail and sending to my center, so to your center, so the person over there can put it, if they have the program manager, they can put it on the TalksUp. So this is very useful when we travel or when we are not at our centers. We can do a program and send it through mail, so the person at the center can put it on the TalksUp of the client. And we have the other possibility, which will be to import the program. So I'm going to import the program I just saved on my desktop. So the same process. I click over here, I go look for my program, which is here, and open it. And it will be over here in my custom programs. So you see, we have 2 times ER80. If I go to programs over here, I'll find it. Oh, it's already open over here, and I can just transfer it on my TalksUp before I need to set all these settings. But you see, it's very easy. So like that, there's no problem when you travel or when you want to share a program with another professional, etc. You can exchange programs in this manner. Here in program configuration, you can also, the possibility, you see I have the same programs. I can erase one of them, delete one of them. Okay, so I don't need all of this. So like that, you can put some order in your program manager. Then we have, the possibility to go into tools. And here it's important because we can do a save of a database. When you create a client like we did earlier, I'm gonna save the data. It tells you it's gonna put the save in the file of your program manager, so it's okay. And if I go back to programs, into my clients, here's the client I created earlier. Let's say he has finished his intensive, he's not coming back, so I decide to delete him. So I push on the element in red, confirm to delete, yes. So now if I look, my John is not there anymore. And then I realize that he's coming back and I need to see what he's done. So I go back to the last backup I did, restore the database, like this, yes, okay. And then when I go back into the programs page, I will find my client again. So this is very important to use in tools, the possibility to do backups so you don't lose the information of your client. So I recommend you to do it regularly so you don't lose your clients. Then you also have the possibility to reintegrate the DataDB. This is your programs. Okay, if you lose, I don't know how, but sometimes it can happen, some programs on your TalksUp, on the program manager, I'm sorry. Oops, I have to select this first and open it. So the programs will appear here, and then you can transfer them on, for example, these are DSR, in the SR programs if you're missing one of them. I personally recommend you to do this with Anna or one of the technicians. It will go very fast and it'll be much easier, and you won't have programs that would be transferred twice and so on. Because sometimes people lose one program over here, so it has to be put back into the program manager. The most, like I was saying, the simplest is to ask Anna or the technician to do it for you. It takes just a few seconds to do it. In the area over here where it says About, we only have the version of the program manager that we are using. Actually, that's all the information. There's nothing particular. So we've seen that in Tools you can do a backup and restore your database. Program configuration, only the ER programs can be configured by copying the program you want to configure. It appears here and then you can configure it. You have the possibility to export or import a program. So that's the possibilities of program configuration in level 1. On device you have all the information concerning the TalksUp that is plugged in right now. And the main page, which is the programs, you have your programs, the customized programs, and here when your device is connected, the programs that are on your device. As I said, you can erase all the programs. That's no problem. It means that the TalksUp is empty, and then you can transfer any program onto your TalksUp using the client's name, or you can also transfer it directly on your TalksUp without putting the name of a client. If you work in a center and you have clients who come to your center, you could put like the ER program, the SR0 program, and like that your TalksUp is available for clients who are starting their programs. You can select just ER0 or SR0 when they start. Don't forget to put them on random, so like that if you have two clients on ER0, one comes at 11, he does his listening, one comes at 2, you can use the same program on your TalksUp for the clients. And the fact that they're in random, one client can be on day 3, the other one on day 7. Just check the time is correct for both clients. So that's all the possibilities of your program manager of level 1. Thank you very much for your listening.